Hey, what's up, everybody? I am in my hotel room tonight in beautiful Cancun, Mexico. Been on vacation with the family, and now I'm staying for a few extra days for business to meet with a photographer down here. Well, today I want to talk about 9 questions that new website creators often ask us. The first one comes from Harish M, and I'll go through some that have recently been posted. But also, if you have questions, please post them in the chat if you're watching live. Harish M says, what do you mean by good quality content? This is actually a great question. It may seem obvious, but it's really not at all. Almost everyone, when they start creating a website, tries to go too quickly and just writing content, pumping it out there as fast as possible. Because you hear us say, get to 30, 50 articles on a website so that you can get the SEO from lots of different bait in the water, lots of different articles bringing you traffic. And then when you start doing that, the content becomes a little bit thin. I learned this when I wrote an article called 21 Things You Can Do Today to Change Your Photography Forever. I learned this many years ago, and that was the first post I ever wrote that just brought in a huge flood of traffic. And I think what changed there was, rather than just, chucking out as many tips as I could think of, I spent like 3 days writing that one blog post. And I tried to make it the very best that I could. I tried to have unique tips that weren't just the obvious that everybody says. I tried to find some original things to put in it, and it made all the difference. So to me, from that I learned one thing that has completely changed my success with getting traffic to my websites. And that's this. Every time I write a blog post, I start with information that somebody wants to find out. For example, what's the best torque wrench for a dirt bike? And then I create the ultimate resource, the best thing I could possibly make for someone who's trying to find the best torque wrench for a dirt bike, which is a post I wrote not too long ago on dirtbikeplanet.com. In fact, Google that right now, best torque wrench for dirt bikes, and I'll bet you that already that article is near the top. I don't know, but I bet you it's near the top, even though it's new content. Because you really put extra effort instead of just saying, here's my Amazon link, click this. It's the best one. Have a great resource to them. If you're new to a torque wrench, what is a torque wrench? If what makes a torque wrench good for dirt bikes rather than other things, really going into depth for people makes all the difference in the world. All right, the next question comes from Gerald Ong, who says, do you have any tips for creating a website in a non-native language? English isn't my first language. Great question. In fact, 65% of you who watch this YouTube channel are not in an English-speaking country as your main language. We get this question all the time. You can absolutely do this. You can create a website in English, even if it's your non-native language. So both Ricky and I say Ricky, I'm used to having somebody here when we create videos. Ricky and I both speak Portuguese, and if you were to ask me to create a niche site in Portuguese, it would be really intimidating. So I understand kind of how you feel if you're going through this, but you can totally do it. A few tips to help you. One, download, if you have Chrome or whatever browser you have, the Grammarly plugin or extension for Chrome. Vern Lovick is asking how we both learned Portuguese. We both spent 2 years on a mission in Sao Paulo, but we were in different missions, but we both speak Portuguese anyway. But we download the Grammarly plugin. It really helps if you're a non-native English speaker. I even use it because it just checks your grammar and your spelling of things, and so it will help. Especially if you get the Pro one, then it checks a lot more things. So make sure you're writing good quality content that way. The next thing is link to things in the United States Amazon store. Even if you're in the UK or Canada, Ricky and I are still recommending link to the US Amazon store. It's just gigantic. Yeah, it's just really big, and now Amazon has tools to automatically globalize that to some other to some other major uh, countries. And the last thing I would say is to be careful you're using the keywords that your target audience will use. If you're, for example, in the UK and you use a slightly different word, you're using loo instead of toilet, for example, and you're making a website about bidets, well, you just cut your audience dramatically if you're using a word that's specific to just one English-speaking country and not others. So check that kind of thing before you do it. If you're a non-native English speaker, make sure your keywords are rock solid. And the next thing is just confidence. Don't let this be an excuse. Even if you're a non-native English speaker, don't let this be an excuse to not do a website. You can do this. It's just going to take some work. Some people in the chat are asking about creating websites in languages other than English. Honestly, I just don't know. I'm positive there's a big market out there for non-English websites and stuff, but neither Ricky or I have ever done that, and so I don't want to speak to something that I just don't have experience with. All right, the next question comes from user ID Wyoming. He says, I'm a 14-year-old kid following your videos. I have 8 articles over 2,000 words. How do I know when to actually publish my website? You should publish it as soon as you write your very first article. We've been getting a lot of people asking about this who, you create your website and we say, okay, what's your URL? And they say, well, I don't want to share it yet. It's not quite ready. And so people don't want to put anything out there. And I definitely recommend from day one, keep your website public. As soon as you write an article, publish it right away. It will take Google a long time to trust your website. And this is total tie over the shoulder stuff. I don't have any data on this, but I've got to think Google can see when a site is just growing organically. You're just adding content to it, and it's not this sudden flood that it wonders if this is a spammy thing. That's just how Ricky and I have always done it, and I for that reason, I know it's successful just to do it. Don't worry about, oh, my site's not ready, I can't press publish till it's all ready. Start from day one on a published site and keep working to make it better and better every single day. Don't worry, you won't have a flood of traffic day one. It just won't happen. All right, wanted to remind you, comment on any video we publish in 2018 for a chance to win Ricky and I for a weekend. We're gonna fly to wherever you are and spend a weekend with you just dominating your business. One lucky winner is gonna get it, so just comment on every video we put out in 2018 and you'll have an entry. Next question comes from Entertainment Videos. Question is, bro, how do I monetize my website? My answer is go check out our last video, 11 legit ways to monetize an audience. The next question is from Mike M. If you guys don't do any link building, how does Google find your site to index it at all? Great question. Google will absolutely know your website exists about as soon as you know your website exists. When you install Google Analytics, they obviously know that it exists just when the site is registered. I mean, they're crawling everything like crazy. So don't worry, Google will find your website even if no other website links to it yet. You just start your website. It will feel like a ghost town, but just start writing quality content, even with no link building. We've done it over and over and over and over again. You will absolutely, Google will find your website and you'll start getting it. Don't slip into trying to find shortcuts, what every other internet marketer is teaching out there. You got to spend half of your time link building and doing all this stuff. And it's the quality content that brings people in. And we've built sites with millions of visitors, and it's because we just focus on the content and not just the SEO and stuff. Rozwan says, what if my target audience is younger and social media is what they use most? I still wouldn't slip into just focusing on social media. And I'll give you a specific data why. Improve Photography, my largest website, I think it has 650,000 fans on Facebook. And you want to know what percentage of our traffic came from Facebook last month? Less than 2%, actually less than 1% of our traffic came from Facebook. And we've tried everything trying to get it. Facebook is just very stingy with traffic. Very stingy with traffic. It'll do great when you post this funny meme, but as soon as you post a link to your website, all of a sudden, it just is not sending a great amount of traffic. And so, or Instagram for that matter. You can't even have links on Instagram except in your description. I'm not saying they're useless. A lot of people, of course, are successful on social media, but coming from somebody who has built a following of over 1 million people on social media, and now is seeing what that actually creates, going forward, what I want to focus on is traffic to content sources that I can control. And right now, that's my website. A podcast can do this, but a podcast has a lot of negatives. Pinterest is still sending good traffic. Reddit sends good traffic. And YouTube can send great traffic if used well. But Facebook, Instagram, Twitter are just not sending good traffic to websites, so they're not things I recommend. Even if you feel like that's where your audience is, I definitely just recommend going to places where they will actually give you good traffic. All right, Danish Malik is asking, what's the right time to add Amazon affiliate links on your website, since there will be no traffic on a new website and the affiliate account may expire? Okay, great question, because when you start your Amazon affiliate site, for example, Amazon, I think it's if you don't make 3 sales in your first 3 months, they shut down your account. And this is only a problem for your first affiliate site. If you're just adding a new ID, it won't shut you down if you have other sites on there that are sending traffic. But then even so, even if after you get the 3 sales, in month 4, 5, 6, if there's just nothing at all happens, they'll still just shut you down. It's not a big deal. You can just start another account later when you do have traffic. But Ricky and I have been recommending to just start right away. But now I'm thinking maybe it'd be better to wait 3 or 4 months to start your Amazon affiliate account for that reason, so you don't get shut down. Unless you can send a lot of stuff otherwise from Facebook or something like that, just to your personal friends, just saying, hey, go use my links and stuff. But that is actually against the terms of use, so I don't know. Do what you want there, but just know you may want some traffic before you create your affiliate account, or they can shut you down and you'll have to restart it later on. All right. Someone just asked, I just missed the name, but said, what percentage of your income do you earn from affiliate? And that completely depends on what website we're talking about. With Improved Photography, it's, I would say, my guess right now is 17%, 17 to 20% is affiliate, maybe a little bit less than that. With Income School, it's very low. We're earning maybe 5% of our income, 3% of our income from Amazon affiliate, though we do really well on Bluehost for people who are starting their first website. And want to know how to do it, you can go to incomeschool.com/new and read our tutorial there. That's bringing in good income from there. I'm gonna have to check with Ricky. Ricky's our numbers guy, but I want to say we make about 27 sales a month to Bluehost, and they keep increasing our commissions as we're sending more people. So that's there. For sites like Dirt Bike Planet, it's basically 100% of it. For Camper Report, it's about 50% of it. For Knife Up, it's about 40% of my income is from Amazon affiliate. It just really depends. Penguin in a Minute says, was Camper Report an outlier? The content was really good, but it seems to be getting great traffic. Well, it definitely has been a very quick growing website. but I wouldn't say any quicker than Pontoon Guide was, or other sites that we've built. So I wouldn't say it's our very fastest, but it's definitely going well. But it's also one of our most recent ones that has been given time. And as we're refining our recipe for how to grow an affiliate site, we're shortening that time that it takes for a site to really see that hockey stick. Still takes time, but we're shortening it as we go along. All right, next question is from Emilio F. Castillo, saying, I'm looking for a way to send you an email or contact you privately. What is the best way to do this? Now, the reason I wanted to include this one in here is something that you may want to think about as you're creating a new site, and that is, how much access do you want your site visitors to have to you when your website is new? When you're new, that probably is a lot. You probably want to put your email on things and have a contact form. You'd just be really happy to hear from people. But eventually, as your site grows, you're going to realize there's just no way. I had a contact form on Improved Photography for years as I was starting up the site, and I just loved spending time with people. And then one day I woke up and I was like, holy cow, I'm getting 200 emails a day. It's just not possible. You can't do that. And what I also learned is those weren't necessarily the paying customers who were spending the time emailing. And so eventually you're going to need to take it down. I mean, if we put a contact form right now on Income School, holy cow, it would just get dominated. There's no way we could keep up with it. But some people like giving users access to them. It's great as you're starting your website to really be in touch with your audience. And so it's not something that I would say not to do, because it gets you in touch. It hears, they'll give you ideas for articles you can write and things like that. But just do know that it will take your time away from instead creating a resource that, instead of going to one person, can go out to the whole world to make it available for them. But that is one model that I've used before, is I put a contact form on so people could email me as often as they wanted. And then instead of writing a personal email back to that person, I would write a blog post answering the question. And I just email them and say, hey, great question. I just answered it in a blog post, and send them a link. And so it was kind of doing my keyword research for me by having that contact form on the website. So it's something to consider. But eventually, if you're doing your site how we hope you're wanting to do your site, that it's growing quickly, it's just not going to be possible. And that's totally okay. Once it gets to that point, you shouldn't feel bad that you can't constantly be answering people's questions. All right, next question is from Rakesh Sardar, who says, my website got 80,000 page views last month, but didn't earn a single penny. What? That's crazy. That is nuts. If you have 80,000 page views a month that the website isn't earning money is really weird. Either this is some kind of crazy, very difficult to monetize niche, or something is really wrong on how this is set up. Generally, what my goal is when I have a site is, when I get to 30,000 page views a month, it should be earning $1,000 a month. If your niche is celebrity gossip, well, that's going to be tough to do. That's a difficult niche to monetize. But in most niches, if you've done a reasonable job of choosing the niche, 30,000 page views a month should equal $1,000 a month from all income sources. Obviously, some are easier than others, but that's just what I shoot for, and we've been able to achieve with the sites we get. I haven't really had any crazy amount. Vern Levick says, my ThailandSnakes.com site has 50,000 page views a month and makes very little. We got to work on it. Man, go to incomeschool.com and get Niche Site School, and even though your site is up and you have traffic, I would love to do a consultation looking at the site and figuring out what is up, because definitely should be able to monetize. If you've got 50,000, 80,000 page views, that's a lot of traffic to not be earning income from. So some things to look for, Vern, or what if you write a quick travel guide to Thailand, a travel guide to a certain city? I have a post that I wrote about a photographer's guide to traveling to Iceland that's been super popular. And that's the kind of thing, man, wrap that up in a PDF and sell it for $15, make it a quick easy sell, something like that. You should definitely be able to earn money from that. Penguin in a minute says, what's your favorite X theme demo? Probably Ethos One is the one that we use a lot of times to lay out our sites. To be honest, I'm getting a little bit tired of X theme. Not tired of it in that I'm getting bored with it, but I as they have made changes to the theme over the last year and a half, I haven't loved what they've changed. ThemeCo, I believe, is really headed in the wrong direction with the theme. It's getting more and more convoluted and hard to use. It's still the theme that we recommend right now, but effort of full disclosure, we are actively looking at for a new theme that is going to be better for people to recommend, because we get a lot of people following our recommendation of a theme. So we're going to wait until we are absolutely certain that we have a theme that's easy to use, beautiful, and very important to us is that it loads extremely fast. And right now, Xtheme still does that, but it's a little bit more convoluted than we like. Project 51 says, have you ever linked articles you wrote on LinkedIn as a site? Yeah, I haven't really used LinkedIn a whole lot. I think it's definitely a promising platform, and a lot of people have found success. Of course, if you're doing anything, kind of in the professional world, something like that, LinkedIn can be a good place to go to start getting your site. But again, I just feel like if you spend 95% of your time creating awesome content on your own platform, things end up going better. Why don't you link your sites in a video description to get some page views? Yeah, we can do that. We could do that. I don't know that we're begging for page views from people on our YouTube channel. We must want to just send out great content. But if you want to check out the blogs, the niche sites that we're creating, check out Dirt Bike Planet, Cabin Freedom, check out Camper Report, etc. Aren't you guys afraid of getting banned? I saw reviews rating on your niche site giving you guys a heads up. Why would we get banned? From what? I don't know what he's talking about. All right. Next question is from Sarah Snyder Castaneda, who says, are you investing in cryptocurrency? Answer for me is yes, absolutely I am. Am I putting my net worth in it? No, absolutely not. But yes, I'm putting money into cryptocurrency. And yes, I think it's going to go down from the crazy highs we saw at the start of December. So why would I be investing if I thought I was investing at the peak? Well, because I think it's an incredible world-changing technology. And I want to have a little skin in the game so that I really go out and I learn how it all works and everything, and it's worked because I put some money in, and I've read 3 books on cryptocurrencies in the last months. I've been learning all kinds of podcasts. I'm starting a mining rig with my son next month. I definitely think it's interesting. If you're interested in the mining section of it, I like the Vosk Coin YouTube channel, VOSK. Vosk Coin YouTube channel is really cool. We're building a 6 GPU mining rig to have in our spare bedroom in the house, and we're gonna see my son Ruger and I. My son's 8, and we're gonna see if we can make a little money doing it. Mostly, I want to build a computer with my son and teach him about this stuff. So I think it's super cool. But I am putting money into it. Enough money, if it goes down, it's gonna hurt. But I'm not gonna put in my retirement and stuff in it. No way. but I am putting it in. I'm putting most of my money in Ethereum right now and a little bit less in Bitcoin. I just like the technology behind Ethereum. I think it has some promise. So it's cool. If you haven't jumped on the cryptocurrency bandwagon and really got on it, it's fine. But I think it's a game changing enough of a technology that you better not ignore it. Don't put your net worth into it, but I think it would be foolish to ignore it because the technology is incredible. Will Bitcoin take over the dollar? I don't know. We'll see in 50 years. But it's really an incredible technology. All right. Mike Streeter says, Jim, have you thought about you and Ricky creating your own WordPress theme? Oh, I have thought about this. And I'll tell you my vision for it because I hope one of you goes out and makes it so I won't have to. I love WordPress. WordPress is incredible, an incredible platform. But I feel like the WordPress core is falling behind a little bit. I'd love to see them be a little bit more aggressive with the technology that they provide. But a lot of it still could be done with themes that really harness what's possible with it. Themes are mostly just designs right now for it, but I think it could be so much more. When we see the amount of time that people spend on the web, I mean, a huge chunk of it, of that time is on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube. I mean, they're just dominating it. It's these massive corporate companies that are taking the vast majority of the internet traffic, and we can't have that. There are way more of us as content creators, and I think it's a major part of that is because we don't have the tools that we need. Why are we creating videos here on YouTube instead of where we could control them on our own website? Because the tools aren't great for creating our own videos on our own website. Hosting video and getting it to display is really hard, and WordPress hasn't created a good solution to that. Why are bloggers creating a Facebook group on Facebook, a different website, to have that interaction with their audience? Because the tools on WordPress aren't that great. And there are some plugins to kind of do it, but they just don't work that well because there's no mobile solution to it. You go to a forum, you got to sign in. It's terrible. It's a horrible experience. But Facebook, I can download the Facebook app and I get pinged when things happen and stuff, which, by the way, I don't use Facebook anymore, hardly ever. But I think WordPress needs to shape up and start giving better tools like that so that I can have an app for people and then we can communicate that way, things like that. It's just, I feel like Facebook or WordPress, the WordPress core is kind of falling behind in technology, and I'd love to see that change. But I do think there are opportunities for content creators like you and me to really step that up and create better tools. Chet says, does Amazon give you a time limit in which to sell affiliate products before you're kicked out of the program? I think it's 3 months. You have to make 3 sales in 3 months. My wife and I worked for Bluehost in Utah before we lived there and moved to Arizona in the last year, but some of the people there are very talented and may be able to do it. Yeah, Bluehost has some very talented people. I think this could happen from a hosting company that could do this. To create the tools. That makes sense to me because of the video portion has to be very linked to the hosting of it. So man, if a hosting company created that kind of tools for WordPress, man, that would just be incredible. The rest of it, the interaction part, we gotta have an app. I have a domain around a topic and installed WordPress. What is the link to the video to give me ideas on niche article titles to write? Yeah, just check our YouTube. You're going to see lots of, you'll see our article on the best topics for, or the best titles for articles. Okay, somebody, Internet Domain, asked about the suggested searches. I wanted to give a little tip that I use when you're starting your website. A lot of people will have, you let's say the content is about the best torque wrenches for dirt bikes, like I had mentioned earlier. Well, it's easy to write that in about 100 words. The best torque wrench for a dirt bike is the Bike Master brand. And you're like, what else do I say? I answered the question. And so what I often do when that happens, and it does happen to me, so we're talking about how to add length to your posts. I'll give you two different tips. First, type your keyword into Google and then scroll down to the suggested searches. And what you're looking for here are what are related questions to what you've asked. So somebody might say, a best torque wrench for a Honda dirt bike. And then you know, oh, okay. So after I tell them get the Bike Master torque wrench, one other thing that people are going to wonder about is, does it matter if you're a Honda or Yamaha or a KTM guy? Should you get a different dirt bike wrench? So answer that question. And then you may see somebody suggested search is best digital torque wrenches for dirt bikes. And then you're like, oh yeah, some people are wondering if they need a digital one. And so you create a subheading, do you need a digital torque wrench? And then you write an answer to that. And you just kind of keep going. You're finding these very tightly related questions and you're making them subheadings and going along. One other thing that I've been doing recently with, I would say, positive but mixed success is I've been writing my blog posts recently using text or speech to text. So on the Mac, you can just hit function, and it will pop up the dictation, which is not that great. If somebody has a recommendation for me, please post in the chat of a better dictation software. But what I've found is if I start with the dictation and I just start going, just saying the answer to my question or to just saying the blog post as I'm going along, I find that I'm able to get way more length because I just say things in a little bit longer way than I would type it out on the keyboard. And then after I have my 1,000, 1,500 words, then I'll go back and I'll format things and make it look nice and things like that. Rita Storo says Google dictation works. Oh, I didn't know Google had that, but I should have figured they have everything else out there. So definitely one to check out. So those two tricks have helped me to kind of increase the length of my articles by adding the subheadings, and then also using dictation sometimes has been a great thing to add. So I want to kind of close out the live stream here with just kind of what Ricky and I are working on for you on Income School over the next few months. Income School is growing like a crazy weed. It's just been awesome. Thanks everybody for your response to what we're doing on Income School. This is the first time we've done a YouTube live, and so that's been kind of fun. I think we'll continue to add some of these. But we've been releasing a video just once a week, and we're definitely going to go much faster at that this year. YouTube has been awesome for Income School. We have a lot of great resources on incomeschool.com, but we want to add a lot here to YouTube as well. We also are working on a new plugin for WordPress that will come out later this year that will help you like one-click monetize your website. I'm crazy excited about it. It's we're really excited about it. So I won't go into too much detail about it, but monetization is something that I just keep hearing people struggling with. Do all the work to get traffic and then have a hard time monetizing it. And for us, I feel like that's kind of my jam. I'm able to monetize a website once we get that traffic. And so we are working on a plugin there that will just help everybody. As soon as you get your website, bang, you can get it monetized quickly. So that's definitely something that we're working on this year. Ricky and I are continuing to develop our niche sites over between November and December. Ricky is working on cabinfreedom.com as his niche site that he's working on, and it's looking awesome. And I'm working on dirtbikeplanet.com. We wrote 50 articles each in 100 days. We had the goal to reach 100, as I'd mentioned it on another video, but we made it to 50 each. And I'm just really excited to see what those websites do over the next 12 months. We'll definitely be sharing all our numbers and everything as it goes. Right now the content's brand new, but definitely something we'll be sharing about. So Dirt Bike Planet is an interesting one. That's a site that we purchased. The site was earning basically no money, but it had 30,000 page views a month when we purchased it. And it was on horrible technology. It was on Solo Build It. Don't get that. It was terrible. So we moved it over to WordPress, much better. And we've been working on, I've been working on building that site up. And Ricky's doing Cabin Freedom. So those are definitely two interesting projects to see. I don't know that we're going to be writing a whole lot more content on those websites. I think we've written 50, and I think we're going to kind of sit them for a while, like we do. Kind of, you're planting a seed in the ground. We're writing the websites, 30, 50 articles on them, and then we're just planting a seed and kind of leaving it, let Google do its thing, and then we can come back to them. One that we need to revisit is camperreport.com. That website has been awesome. It's been super successful without that much content. I think we only had 24 articles on there but when we planted the seed and kind of walked away, and it's just exploded with traffic. So that's been great. What we're going to try to do there is to not write it ourselves growing it, but to instead hire a content team to further develop that website. So that's one that I'm interested to watch. Because we've never, although Improved Photography has a huge amount of writers and stuff as an authority site, so I have done that a lot, but we've never taken a niche site that we just wrote a little bit and just had paid authors take it from there on out. So I'm really interested to see how that works going forward, to have paid writers doing that. So that's our strategy for Camper Report this year, to kind of build that up and keep that moving. And so it's exciting times, and of course our main product is Niche Site School. You can learn, we have so many free resources on YouTube and on incomeschool.com. If you're just broke and this is all you can do, just get your site started, just do it the free way. We have a lot of stuff out there. But I mean, if you're putting all this work into your website, if you believe at all that your site will succeed, if our 8 years of experience in building lots of niche sites, if we can put that to work for you in this course, if all of that experience could get you even 1 week sooner, if your website can start earning an income even 1 week sooner, it will have paid for itself. And if we can get your website really earning money, I mean, it's just a no-brainer to get Niche Site School. It's our exact recipe, step by step, of how we build our websites. It's basically 60 actions, takes about an hour per action, and you just work on it. Day one, let's get your domain name, and it's a 3 to 5 minute video from either Ricky or I, just explaining all the things to look for in a domain name. Only .com is what we recommend. No .net, no .info, etc. Just because people still don't understand it. You say, my website is repelling.net, and people are like, repelling.net.com? No. It's like, people should know how to use it, but still, we just only recommend .com. And then day two, go get your logo. We'll say, go to 48 Hours Logos, where we recommend to get it. It's inexpensive. Just make your website look professional right from the get-go. You don't need to spend $1,000 on branding and stuff. But just get something that looks nice to get that website looking decent. There's 2 actions down, and it just goes all through 60 actions. At the end of the 60 actions, you really should have a great seed in the ground. It will take time for that to come, but we'll show you how we do the keyword research, how we write the content, how long it needs to be, and how to monetize it, etc. So if you're ready to get started and you're serious about your niche, go check it out, incomeschool.com, and click on Niche Site School. Hey, thanks everybody for hanging out with me on this YouTube Live. This is the first one we've done. I appreciate everybody's time, and wish you good luck on your project. Bye.